Hello everyone and welcome back to the Godel pod. Today you are joined by myself, Cameron Watson. I'm a service delivery manager here at Godel, and I am joined by Danielle.
Hi, I'm Danielle and I work in marketing.
And our special guest this week is Elena.
Hello, I'm Elena. I'm head of language development and intercultural communication.
Perfect. So, Elena, since joining us in 2007, how has Godel's culture grown and developed?
Well, it has grown and developed a lot. Since 2007, to be honest, I joined the company as an English teacher in September 2007. Over the years, the company began growing, and I couldn't run the English classes for all the employees myself. So I started interviewing for the English teachers for European locations. So the language development division was created in 2018, and then in 2021, I became head of language development and intercultural communication.
So Elena, how many teachers are in your department?
Right now, there are 23 professional language teachers at Godel, 14 English, 8 Polish teachers, and 1 Lithuanian teacher, believe it or not. So at Godel, huge importance has always been placed on our employees' ability to understand English in all its forms. And I hope I managed to build up a strong team of the English teachers who are helping Godelers to communicate with their colleagues in Manchester and with the clients all over the UK better and more efficiently. And besides, my dream has come true. A native speaker of English, an English teacher from Kent, has recently joined our team. His name is Ben, and Ben is running the English classes for the advanced English level employees, which is fantastic. Godel care about people a lot. It is people who are Godel's priority. So when the Godel employees started working in Poland, the Polish classes were set up for the employees to help them learn the Polish language and Polish culture so that they could integrate into the new culture quickly and could feel more comfortable in another country. The Lithuanian classes were set up to help those employees who had moved to Lithuania to feel more comfortable with the locals. I think relationships improve within the international team when, for example, our Polish employees see their Belarusian colleagues make an effort to speak their mother tongue in Poland. So they do appreciate it a lot. And I'm really happy when I hear our Belarus employees speaking Polish in our Polish offices. I think this is the best reward for all of us. I would personally love the Godel employees to assimilate into a new culture, either Polish or Lithuanian culture, as quickly as possible. And I think our language classes do help a lot.
It's amazing. And especially, obviously, with bringing on, like you say, someone from the UK to be part of that. So soon, over the last sort of couple of years, there's been a lot of change in how the teaching's been rolled out. We've obviously had quite a few turbulent years, and specifically a big one being COVID. So what kind of changes happened with teaching sort of through COVID?
Oh, yeah, Cameron, thank you so much. It's a lovely question. I think that COVID has certainly changed the way we work. And it made me think once again that adaptability and flexibility are very important skills in today's fast-changing world. So when the global pandemic started, we all had to adapt to the new reality. And I organized a quick and effective transition to online training due to the start of remote work, implementing modern online tools, and started involving more and more English teachers in the online teaching. Now we've got both the online and offline classes so that the Godel employees could pick up the format that suits them better.
Amazing. And you were mentioning sort of online and offline classes. What other kind of different types of teaching is there? Sort of how do you kind of find the best way to, I guess, engage each sort of different Godeler to make sure they're kind of getting the most out of those sessions?
Oh, we use lots of different innovative teaching strategies and methods, gamification, case study, project-based learning. Besides, we use tech and different online platforms to make all the language classes more interactive and less boring. For example, Miraboard, Kahoot, Quizlet, Quizzes, Wordwall. I think we're all children inside, and our employees are still children. So they love playing different games, and at the same time, they do learn the language. They improve their language skills. As for the English classes, teaching English at Godel is challenging, but at the same time fascinating. So we do our best to tailor the classes to the specific needs of our employees. We teach not only everyday English, but we also discuss some business-oriented topics that help our employees interact with their UK colleagues more effectively. So the cultural aspects are also included in our English classes. We teach our employees how to be more polite, how to be less direct, less straightforward, while communicating with the UK colleagues, how to have small talk, how to keep the conversation going, how to give some negative feedback without offending anyone. During the classes, we use some captivating activities to practice problem solving, brainstorming, thinking outside the box skills.
I do think that you're right in what you said. It is a lot easier to learn when it's more interactive and it's fun.
Definitely.
So, Elena, what are the novelties in your division?
Thanks a lot, Danielle, for asking this lovely question. I think there is something always new. There are some novelties all the time. For example, when I joined Godel, I always tried to organize some extra activities apart from giving the English classes. I would bring my UK Irish friends over to the office when they were visiting me so that the Godelers could speak with a native speaker of English face to face, and I would organize a movie night in English. Then I inspired some employees to perform a pantomime before Christmas. They loved it so much that it became a fantastic tradition. It was great fun because, we had lots of rehearsals. We would learn lots of new idioms, phrasal verbs. Our employees gave quite a lot of performances in English. Cinderella, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Alice in Wonderland. Once they even were performing the scene from the play The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde, believe it or not. Yeah. I think those performances, including the rehearsals in English, helped the employees not only to improve their English skills, but also to develop their creativity, increase their imagination, and made them step out of their comfort zone. Everyone was happy, both the performers and the audience. Even now, I'm here in Manchester. And, I used to come over to Manchester and film the Manchester guys. I'm really grateful to all the Manchester guys participating in this activity because I film the Manchester guys, and then our Godel employees can watch these films during the classes. And the Manchester guys can answer their questions, the questions that were asked by the Godel employees. I think this is fascinating. Yeah. And it's thrilling for our, Godel employees when they see that the Manchester guy pick up their question and answer their questions. Like, oh my God, it's my question. Yeah, it's interesting. And it's entertaining and at the same time beneficial because they can hear different accents. There are obviously lots of accents in the Manchester office. Manchester, Yorkshire, Scottish. So it's so beneficial. I'm grateful to everyone. Another novelty is an English club for those employees who can't attend the English classes regularly but would love to improve their English skills. I think the concept of the English club is amazing. Any employee, no matter what their level of English is, can join the English club session to practice English by speaking it in a very relaxed and friendly atmosphere. It helps the employees to overcome any language barrier and to open up a little bit. So every time we do different activities, could be anything, playing a game, talking about the UK, its culture, customs, traditions. We even had some English breakfast sessions in the cafe, which means we could gather together, have breakfast and speak English all at the same time. And I'm really grateful to all the English teachers for supporting my idea and concept of the English club, running the English club sessions in all the locations and coming up with some new amazing ideas. Nowadays, we run not only the online and offline English club sessions, but we also run the Polish club sessions, which is really exciting. One day, I hope we will run a Lithuanian club session and, the guys will have a lovely opportunity to speak Lithuanian. One more novelty is the English crash course that has been designed recently. It has been designed for those employees who would love to improve their business and everyday English communication skills. The crash course has been tailored to the specific needs of our Godel employees and covers such areas as small talk, stand-ups, demos, presentations, interviews, body language, some cultural differences, British humor, some everyday topics. So 12 sessions per month, and our employees feel more confident with communicating with their UK colleagues. And, the employees' active participation during the English crash course and their positive feedback proves once again it was worth designing and running this course. It has been beneficial and interesting for the Godel employees.
Oh,
which makes me really happy. I don't know whether I should mention one more novel to actually the Godel English Teachers Conference. Don't know whether everyone knows about it, but every year I organize and run the Godel English Teachers Conference. Our English teachers from all the locations gather together to participate in the conference, share their experience, and look for new ideas, inspiration, and professional development. So we always discuss lots of interesting and thought-provoking topics. For example, a flipped approach, how to apply it in the classroom, is Suggestipedia method, some ways of using tech effectively in the classroom, or the role of motivation in, just the learning process. I do my best to enhance the professional expertise of the Godel language teachers and strengthen a culture of continual learning and improvement. So in the future, I'd love to run another conference for all the Godel language teachers, not only for the English teachers, but the Polish teachers, Lithuanian teachers, for all of them. Yeah, it would be fantastic. This is my goal.
Amazing. I mean,
one of my goals.
all the different kind of things you're mentioning there over the course of your years, I think it's around about 15 years-ish now that you've been in the business. So the amount of kind of activities and stuff you've run is fantastic. Out of everything that you say you've done over those years, what would you say is maybe a couple of the standout moments or even your favourite moment from all of it?
Oh, yeah, it's such a hard question. Thanks a lot, Cameron, but it's a difficult question. I think that, if something works out well, it's really rewarding. I remember running the classes when I joined Godel, and then one of my students moved to Manchester, and then she was saying to me, "Oh, Elena, all the idioms you taught us I use in Manchester." and I thought, oh my God, that's the best reward. When you teach somebody, you teach the English language, and you see that it is beneficial. You see that you're not teaching some bookish language, but you teach those idioms that are used in Manchester or all over the UK, and you see that the classes were beneficial, interesting, useful. Or when I get some feedback from the guys, from the clients, for example, it also makes me happy, when I get the positive feedback and all the kind words from both the UK and our international teams that are running the intercultural sessions. It proves once again how important, insightful, useful the intercultural sessions are and how essential it is, for all the teams. It makes me really happy when I see the value, when I see that something is beneficial, when I am on the same wavelength with my team, with the language teachers, when I see their support, I inspire them, they inspire me. That's the best thing.
Amazing.
I do think it must be really rewarding to see how much of growth your department has had, and obviously hearing people speaking English really well is great. It proves that people really enjoy the classes and you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
So over your career, have you seen a big change in culture, whether that be within Godel or a client culture session?
Oh, yes. Thanks, Danielle. Yeah. To be honest, I've always been fascinated by cultural differences, by the fact how much they impact our work, communication, and interaction. To be honest, culture is a very sensitive topic. Godel is growing in different locations across Europe, and being aware of the cultural differences can make a huge difference to communication and relationships within the engagement. For example, if one of the developers can make a conscious effort to be more polite, less straightforward, not only will our UK client appreciate the effort, but it will help to build up a more positive relationship, which in turn creates a favorite environment for our best, most innovative work to be produced. So definitely, yeah, I see the differences.
And you mentioned there that obviously the different delivery centres, and Poland is sort of becoming, Godel's main delivery location at the moment. Has Poland becoming that main delivery location, has that changed, the cross-cultural sessions that you're currently undertaking? How has that kind of shifted over the years?
Oh, yeah, yes. Thanks, Cameron. Yes, certainly there were changes because I've changed the presentation, and now it's not the cross-cultural presentation, it's an intercultural presentation, including different cultures. I mean, UK, Polish cultures, and certainly I'm grateful to everyone involved. Thanks a lot to Danielle, Michelle for all the help in, just updating the slides. And thanks a lot for helping to set up the webinars for the new clients. I think that it's nice to get the Polish teachers involved as well, because when I went to the Woods and the Wrocław offices to run some cultural sessions for the Godel employees, I asked some Polish teachers to prepare some mini presentations on some interesting topics like Polish holidays, Polish cuisine, Polish music, so that our employees could get some more insights in Polish culture. I'm going to Vilnius next week, and we're going to do the same with the Lithuanian teacher. And there will be a Lithuanian presentation dedicated to Lithuanian culture. And it's exciting and fascinating, I think.
It's definitely exciting. It shows that you're obviously expanding even further now that you're focusing on Lithuania. So it's great to see. So Elena, why are the cross-cultural sessions that you run at Godel important for our UK clients and our employees from different locations?
I think I've already mentioned they are very important and beneficial because there are so many of these locations. Our teams are getting more and more international, more and more multicultural, multinational. And I think a mutual understanding is necessary when it comes to language and culture. And I consider it vitally important to help the Godel teams and our clients understand one another better and ultimately work together more effectively. So that's why I run these cross-cultural, intercultural sessions, whereby I outline the key features and elements of each culture, because it's nice to be aware of these differences. But sometimes, for example, directness or straightforwardness could be perceived as rudeness, although it isn't rudeness, it's just another culture.
Yeah.
And there are some cultural differences.
Amazing. And with those cultural differences that you mentioned in your presentation, you talk about high context and low context cultures. Really briefly, with our locations as well, which of our locations would sort of fall into those high context and low context cultures?
Oh, it's a brilliant question. Thank you so much, Cameron. I think low context, high context cultures is very popular nowadays, and more leaders, more and more business people realize that it's important to know about low context cultures and high context cultures, because there are obviously some differences. Yeah. So for example, in a low context culture, we assume or consider we have a low level of shared reference points, rules, what people do, roles and responsibilities, what needs to happen next. We assume we don't have the same information available to us or the same relationship or context. And because we assume we don't have this shared understanding of something, we believe that good, effective professional communication is communication that is simple, clear, and explicit. Whereas in high context culture, you place value on reading the room, assessing what is going on by the way it is said, what body language is being used, the use of silence, implying something, and also what is not being said. So if we compare the cultures we're working with, we can say that the UK is somewhere in the middle and Poland is in between. And awareness, if we're aware of some differences, The UK colleagues won't get offended. They will know how to approach, how to perceive this information. For example, I can get an email from a developer saying, "Hi, Elena, I got the assessment. Yeah, I want to be shifted to another group." And at first you think, "Oh my God, it sounds so rude." Although I know it's not rude, it's just direct. Yeah. The same with the Polish culture. They tend to be more direct, more straightforward than the UK colleagues. Mm-hmm. And if the UK colleagues know that we are more direct, more straightforward, then it's easier to communicate, certainly. And the UK colleagues won't get offended. I think that the low context communicator may appear rude to the high context communicator. And the high context communicator may appear to take too long to communicate and be frustrating to the low context communicator. So that's why I think that if we all make an effort, it will be easier for us to understand each other.
Yeah, definitely. That's why the client workshops are so important, so everyone understands that all cultures are different and we do all communicate differently, and nobody's being rude. We're just some of us are direct, some of us are a bit more polite and don't want to offend anyone. That's just how we are.
Exactly.
So in an article, Elena, you mentioned that the division is like your baby. So what are the plans for the future?
Thank you so much for this lovely question, Danielle. Yes, my division is like my baby because I created it from scratch. I picked up every single teacher myself. I'm blessed to be working with the Godel teachers, who are professional, brilliant, who are on the same wavelength with me. I hope there will be more great challenges, more novelties, more achievements in the future. Godel is growing in multiple locations nowadays, so I'm getting more and more excited about the future challenges. Who knows, there might be some Arabic classes, you never know, some German classes in the future. Yeah, I think that I'll continue working on the cultures and the cultural differences as Godel becomes more international and more intercultural. And my dream is to run the intercultural session about the different cultures and communication styles between all those cultures we work with, which will help to avoid some painful situations, definitely. I think that there's always new. There are lots of ideas in my head. I always come up with some new ideas, some new suggestions. And I think that, definitely there will be something exciting, fascinating, and interesting.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Elena.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for asking all these lovely questions. Thanks a lot. It's been lovely having a chat with you.
And thanks, Danielle, for being a lovely co-host.
Thank you.
Amazing. If you like what you've heard and would like to know when we're releasing further episodes, please subscribe to the Godel Pod page on Podbean or Spotify. I've been Cameron. Thank you very much and have a fantastic day.